Ain't Got No Time. Well, you guys got time now. Somehow you found the time. Ain't Got No Time rock and blues band. That's a long name, man. But it's appropriate, right?
Yeah, it is. It was never supposed to be the name.
It was never. Okay, so what was it supposed to be?
Kiss.
I know at least a couple of people who might have a problem with that.
You got a cease and desist.
Yeah. It's still in litigation. It's something we don't want to go into.
You wouldn't be the first nor the last.
No.
All right. Well, great to have you guys here. Thanks a lot. Dave Manoucheri, you were here. God, what was it? 6 months ago, a year ago? I don't even know now.
May have been a year ago. It was supposed to be all of us.
Yeah.
And then Kevin had a family member who had a very, very bad medical emergency. And I came in solo acoustic and scared witless and did my best to fill the shoes. But
You did
it's
great,
much
man.
better having everybody here. It really is.
But what it was essentially was a preview of what we have right here, a preview of When the Giants Fell. And I love the cover. Was this a family member?
That's Abby, my
That's
oldest
Abby.
daughter. Yeah, she is.
Abby doesn't look like that anymore.
She doesn't look like that anymore. And she's now 20 years older than that photo, I think, actually. It was appropriate. I put it in the liner notes. The album's not about hobbits. It's not about Jack and the Giant Killer. It's Abby when my wife passed away in 2011. And when she passed away, being 16 years old, my daughter, very insightful, said, when you're a little kid and you live with your parents, you live in a land of giants. And it's really hard when one of the giants falls.
Wow.
And so I took that and
How could you not remember that?
It stuck, obviously.
Obviously, very insightful for
But
a
these guys
youngster.
all helped me record it. It was it was important to me that I didn't make it I didn't want it to be an Ain't Got No Time album because it was A, very personal, and B, I didn't want to be like, we're going to record a record and it's all my stuff. I'm Pete Townshend, I'm not. It meant a lot to me because they all chipped in and said, just tell us when and where, and they showed up and it was amazing.
Those are good bandmates. Good bandmates to have, for sure. So every one of these guys played on this? Is that right?
Yeah. Oh,
well, I
except
love
for
this.
Ben. Ben is not on it, and I wish he had been, actually.
Oh, okay.
This is one Matt wrote.
I can't look in the mirror, baby, anymore. I can't look in the mirror, baby, anymore. Cause I've done so much wrong, and when I think of the things I've done, if the truth be known, if I had to live alone, I'd rather do it with someone else. Oh, I can't sleep too well at night anymore. No, I can't sleep too well at night anymore. No, 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 because I treated her all so bad. And when I think of the things I had, if the truth be known, if I had to live alone, I'd rather do it with someone else. and laugh again. You know I would. I would treat it all so good, and I would say and I'd do all the things I should. If I had been known, if I had to live alone, I'd rather do it with someone else. If the truth be known, if I had to live alone, I'd rather do it with someone else. If the truth be known, if I had to live alone, I'd rather do it with someone else.
I love the fact that you handed out a cassette tape. Well, not really. This is so cool. I got to show you this. So this is what marketing has come down to now.
Mhm.
This is terrific. And it sounds great. Did you listen to it yet? I put him on the spot.
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I was listening in the car on the way up. I plugged in the USB into my car. No.
No. Yeah, he's like, why isn't this playing?
And it made a weird noise. He couldn't figure
Yeah.
out what it was, but yeah.
It didn't fit the 8 track in his car.
I didn't know that. That's very
8-track,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I like that.
Yeah, no, this is really great.
I have a copy for you, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now I know what the email was about. You said I have USB copies for you. And I was like,
USP?
okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
All
What's
right.
a USP?
Yeah.
What's a USP? Well, we'll give you a break. We'll give you a break on that. No problem. So, you know, obviously a very personal album. As I said, you gave us a preview of what this album was going to become. Obviously, with just acoustic accoutrement.
Mhm.
But I really love what I've heard. To hear the previous acoustic versions and to where it has come and developed into now is pretty amazing. Tell me about how that process went. How you went from what you had originally to working through the arrangements and to bringing it to where it is now. How did all that take place? How did that happen?
These guys. It really was all these guys. And I put the songs that they're on, I put them as co-producers because it wouldn't have happened without them. It really wouldn't have. You know, everything from the first 2 tracks we did, which was several years ago. And then we just like a few months ago just did the last 3 tracks, which my daughter described as it sounds like you should be in a convertible on the PCH in 1976, listening to like Jackson Brown meets Carole King.
I think she was born too late.
She probably was.
She's very wise.
Yeah,
She's-
she's
yeah.
wise beyond her years.
Very, very much so. But I think she gets a lot of that from you. What did you guys think when Dave first approached you? I don't know how long ago that was, but when he first approached you about this CD or this album that he wanted to put together, and he had some of the song titles, some of the, you know, at least the initial lyrics written down. What did you guys think when you first got a hold of it and started talking about it?
Well, we'd been playing together for a few years by then.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, he asked if we were interested in yeah, it's going to be tough to convince us not to play music. So,
Yeah, that's what you
yeah, it
do.
was a real hard sell.
Yeah. So when was that? How long ago did you bring the first lyrics or song titles?
It was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's taken really all that time off and on because you ain't got no time. you know?
Really, yeah. And Nate got no money.
Right? How did you go about each individual song? Did you take a group of songs or just take them one at a time? How did that work?
It was a group at a time. We did 2 together the first session. I wanted to try a power trio thing for a little bit. So Eric came in and played bass, played upright on a couple songs and then
Upright.
electric bass on some others. As kind of like a power trio, very Hendrix meets Cream kind of thing. And then we finish it off with the whole band again. And it 3 separate sessions. Because we ain't got no time. I got in a car wreck in between those kinds of things and broke a few ribs and And, and then, just getting schedules. We all work, we all have jobs, we all have kids. It's kind of the way it goes.
For sure. Not only do you not have time, and then you get in a car wreck, like you said, 3 separate sessions. Was it all at the same studio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all at Puss Cavern Recording in Sacramento.
That sounds familiar. Why do I know that?
The band Cake started there, I think.
Okay.
They did some of their early stuff, and then Joe Johnston, the owner, has been he engineered and recorded all 3 sessions. So he did really well. And then we mastered it at Focus Mastering in Omaha, Nebraska, which
really
Doug Van Slaan is the guy who mastered it. He's literally a master of the board. He's really good.
So why did you choose? Had you heard of him?
I've known Doug for years. I did an album with my brother years and years ago in 2001, and he was actually the engineer on it. He doesn't like engineering that awful much, so he loves mastering, and like all the labels send him like hard drives, and he just masters the stuff and sends it back. And I called him up, and he was like, for you and your brother, I will always make time. So just send the masters to me, and I'll be done.
Well, that must have felt good.
It did. Yeah. Doug's a good guy.
And so,
And nothing says mastering like Omaha, Nebraska.
That's true.
Nothing. That's where you get the best fidelity. That's where they know how to get the grooves, because they still just use vinyl there.
I still listen to vinyl. I will get pressed to vinyl at some point. So.
There you go. How do you deal with this guy? He's a wiseacre, isn't he? You love that, don't you?
I love Rob. Rob is one of the most genuine human beings, and I mean this very sincerely, I have ever known him. All of these guys, really. But it's a good guy.
I'm broken and bent, beat down 'cause I spent my time fighting my battles of the heart. Never thought you would go, but my pillow's so cold. Oh, what she took from me, she'll never know. Oh, what she took from me, she'll never know. She spotted my eye, then took the see the moon rising in the midnight sky. I see your headlights as they pass me by. Though I wait here for you, you've left me behind. And she'll be here when the morning comes. Yes, she'll be here when the morning comes.
I saw you guys play a few years ago for a benefit to help raise money for an animal shelter, I guess it was. God, it was hot as hell out there. It was like middle of July or August. I don't know why you guys picked that time of year to play outside. What is wrong with you?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
What's wrong with you? Oh, the one who's saying, "Don't look at me."
I set that up. There's a place called Foothill Dog Rescue. Excellent place. And they specialize in going around Northern California to the high kill shelters, picking up dogs that are about to be terminated, bringing them in there, and finding homes for them. And they kept looking for different ways to raise money, and they were going to have like a barbecue. And I said, well, let's make it a bow wow block party and make it big and have food trucks, and the band will come and play. And we did good. We did well. Helped make a lot of money for them. And
good.
I think to date they're at about 4,000 or 5,000 dogs they've rescued.
Wow.
So they're doing
That's
a good
terrific.
job. Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, it was great. And I hadn't seen Dave. Dave and I worked together years back, and I hadn't seen him in a year or two, I think it was at that point. Yeah. And so when the opportunity came up to go see him play with his band, I was, absolutely, I'm not going to miss out on that. And I'm glad I went because I got to see all you guys, at least most of you, playing and getting that feel. Because as a band, you have to kind of get the feel for each other, right? You have to kind of understand each other's style and idiosyncrasies, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Matt always puts it best because he wants to play with people who don't sound like him.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
I like being the worst player in the band. and then I have a little more to work towards.
Okay, all right.
You know, there's a good comeback for that. But I'm not going to say it, but you just set me up, and I can't hold back.
Knock it out of the park. Do it.
No, actually, what that reminds me of is when people ask me about coming up through the ranks and being a professional musician, I say the way I did it is that I never would play with a band unless I was convinced that everybody in the band was better than me. And you can never go wrong. And you give it 6 months or so, and you find out maybe you're wrong, but you still keep on going. It's just, But at this age, everybody is better than me.
No, dude. What?
Yeah.
Listen to this guy. What?
No, because I'm waiting for people to come back with, oh no, Rob, no.
Yeah. I was waiting. I hope that's not my job because I dropped that ball on that one. But
this guy's played with everybody on the planet.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah. I think it's probably easier to figure out who he hasn't played with.
Yeah.
So let's see. You haven't played with any Beatles.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
one.
4 guys.
There's
Okay.
4.
There's 4 guys on the planet that he
But-
hasn't played with.
Stones.
Yeah, I did a Mick Jagger solo album.
Okay. Keyboards, right?
Yeah.
Keyboards. Okay.
Well, I was lucky. I've been playing since I was 14. I've been playing every week since I was 14, and
Starting up in New York.
Yeah,
New York?
starting in the Bronx,
Okay.
taking my Hammond B3 down the subway steps with about 5 other people, and then fortunate to hook up with the guys. Just one of those things. Just you just step in it sometimes. And I was fortunate to hook up with some people for some of my compositions. I had a couple albums out on Elektra and toured with Peter Frampton in '78.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I was with a big disco band called Chic. We had many number one records. And then with them, we went on to play with other people. I did, Madonna, Like a Virgin album.
Mm-hmm.
We Are Family, Sister Sledge.
Yeah.
David Bowie, Let's Dance.
Jeez.
Power Station, Diana Ross.
Power Station now, real quick here. Remind me who was in that.
Tony Thompson. It was 2 guys from Chic and 2 guys from Duran Duran.
Okay. All right.
And I was playing keyboards on that album.
Okay.
Robert Palmer.
And Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
Robert Palmer.
So you recorded and toured, or recorded or
just
toured?
recorded.
Just
the only
recorded.
people I toured with were Chic, Peter Frampton, Sims Brothers band, of my band on Elektra, and Simon and Garfunkel in '83.
Nice. Wow.
Todd Rundgren.
Oh, and Todd Rundgren.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And by the way,
No, and others, but they were not tours. I
Okay.
did solo gigs with
Right.
a bunch of different people.
and from what I've heard too, every now and then when Nile Rodgers comes through town, you'll go see your old buddy Nile, right?
Yeah, the last time they were at Capital One, I went up where they were there with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and
That's terrific.
he
That's
called me up.
terrific.
It was nice.
Robert Savino.
So let me ask you then, someone who comes from that level of performance and recording, working with these guys, compare or contrast that.
It's exactly the same, except nobody's making a lot of money. It's exactly the same.
Is it?
Yeah, because they're people who get along well with each other, and just like to play, and we have to carry our own equipment. That's one of the biggest things.
We don't get paid to play. We do get paid to haul our equipment to gigs.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard that before from
Yeah.
somewhere. But it's, you say it's exactly the same. What about the level of musicianship?
It's the same. There are some great players here. There's some great players I play with, and they're sustaining themselves by being some of the top people on the planet. But we're the best people on this couch right now.
There you go.
There
you go.
No, it's that's a quote. I got that from Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix on the Dick Cavett show. Dick Cavett was being really impertinent. Says, "Because so Jimmy, people called you the best guitarist ever," and Jimi Hendrix is really taken aback. He goes, "I'm the best guitarist sitting in this chair right now. That's it." And it was because Hendrix was truly a humble man. He really
I've heard
was.
that. Yeah, I've heard that.
And so I try to emulate Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I can tell.
You didn't play with that.
No, but I did record in Electric Ladyland Studios,
Boy.
and Eddie Kramer, his producer, produced my first album.
Oh, Eddie Kramer's a legend. He's a legend.
I had a fist fight with him. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
We're going to have to talk later about that one.
I
but-
didn't have a fist fight with him, but I did almost throw a drumstick at him because he's
And
very,
he's not
very
even
good.
playing drums.
He's not even playing drums.
He's very, very good, and he's a legend. He produced Led Zeppelin and lots of other people.
Yeah.
The Woodstock
Right.
concert.
Wasn't he the guy who wore a cape? Did he ever wear a cape? Or was that?
Now it's Curious George.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm thinking of Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous
George. Well, I think Curious
I mix
George
up-
had one at one point.
I mix up Curious George and Gorgeous George all the time. Scared the hell out of my
Easy
kids.
mistake.
I can see that. They're still in therapy, right?
I can talk. One therapist. Hold on. Okay.
So, Dave, let me ask you then. You've got this guy sitting next to you who has such a resume, and the rest of the band members. What do you think about having someone of this caliber in your band? Does he help elevate your musicianship? Or
He's a character.
Yeah.
And it's all our band. I mean,
Yeah.
we're an equal share of each other. I mean, I know I did this record, but Rob, just like the rest of them, Rob elevates all of us.
He's
I think he
elevating
just
right
slipped
now.
a disc. I don't know.
He elevates all of us. Matt elevates how I play. Abby, do you have the Square app? I can swipe. Thank you.
He's out of cash. apparently.
No, I got to be honest with you. When I met Rob, I didn't know his pedigree initially. I think all these guys probably knew it before I did. He was the guy that my kids sang in choir with, and I loved him. Still do, obviously. And so I think I was at Matt's house the first time I learned the pedigree, and
probably.
I said we were having a jam session, and I brought some barbecue, and he starts eating some ribs, and he goes, "God, this reminds me. It's the best barbecue I ever had." So we're in the studio with Bowie. and we couldn't get anything done, and so we were trying to play some one-on-one, and this Texan that he'd hired knew some great barbecue, and they got it, and I don't remember anything he said after that because my head just kind of exploded.
You heard that
And then-
scratch on the record.
But being who he is, because Rob is he won't say this, but he's very humble, and he just kind of goes. But anyway, the barbecue recipe. Oh my God, it was so good, and he just would go off on it, and it's just like, I mean, we joke with him and we tell all these stories, but it really we kind of drag him out of him when we have
The
conversations.
barbecue was coordinated from Austin by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
And some of my stories are true.
Some of them.
Some.
It's
Some
up to
said he
us.
remembers
It's up
them
to us
anyway.
to figure out which ones they are, right?
There's probably a grain of truth in most of them.
Yeah.
It's like Mark Twain. I will never waste a good story on the truth.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that with a journalist sitting next to you. No, these guys are all. I mean, Eric came in. I think we were listening to the masters on the record that we did, and Matt and Rob walked in and went, "Man, what did you feed Eric that day? Good Lord, that sounds great." I mean, and Ben is like come up through the ranks and played with us. It's Matt's son, Ben, and Kevin is just consistent behind the drum kit. It's just it's a joy to play when you're with a bunch of guys that push you to play harder and better, and we all play differently, and we all try to incorporate each other's strengths into what we do, and that's we all have the mentality that it's not a competition, it's music.
Well, this whole thing started a long time ago when I hadn't been playing for a number of years with a band, but I was still playing, and I didn't have any time, but I really wanted to start playing again.
You wanted to find time.
Yeah, play out a little bit and stuff like that. And I sitting there in my office one day, and it kind of dawns on me, I know a bunch of other guys that don't have any time either and are really good. In fact, they're good enough that we probably don't have to practice a whole lot. If we say, hey, we're going to play these 10 songs, they'll show up and they'll know those 10 songs. And then it's just a matter of how do we play them together. And so I think before that first gig that you're talking about at the Bow Wow Block Party, we'd had 2 rehearsals. And
one of them was all of us.
And one of them
was all of us.
Yeah. And we did 2 sets that night. Yeah.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
25-minute set.
And it was just really easy. And so I sent out a text to all these guys, and I just said, I want to get this thing together. And I thought the right thing to do would be to ask you if you want to be in the band, but you might say no. So instead, I'm just telling you are in the band.
You are in the band.
And so as of now, you're in the Ain't Got No Time Blues Band.
It's a great approach.
And so I really didn't mean for it to be called the Ain't Got No Time Blues Band, but
It stuck.
then when we got a gig a year later and decided we better have a rehearsal, we got billed as Ain't Got No Time Blues Band, so we've been that ever since.
Well, it works.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
All right, so this is called It's Just Your Job to Love.
Son, I see you so confused, and it's tearing me apart. Just remember that she's young too, and she doesn't know her heart. If I can give you one piece of advice, from an old man to the young, when you see her start to cry, it's not your job to understand. It's just your job to love. We all want to fix what's broke, to do the very best we can. Some things they just can't be fixed. Even when you're a man, if I can give you one piece of advice, from an old man to the young, when you see her start to cry, and it's not your job to understand, it's just your job to love. searching for words, like I don't know where to start. Understand that though I've been there, I've no more wisdom to impart. If I can give you one piece of advice from a father to a son, when you see her start to cry, yeah, it's not your job to understand. It's just a job to love. It's just a job to love. It's just a job to love.
What was the most difficult song on this album to pull together, to get it right, to get it to where you wanted it to be?
Barefoot in the Rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah, because I couldn't find one.
That was so. I had written it on an acoustic guitar, and it's got this lick that Eric said is. It sounds like you could play it on a banjo if you really wanted to, in a good way, not in the
Not in the-
far side. Here's Welcome to Hell. Here's your banjo kind of way.
Yeah.
And
Accordion.
accordion. Oh yeah, right, it was accordion.
I know the difference between the accordion and the banjo.
Oh, did we
Deliverance.
throw it?
A banjo burns longer.
No. Yes.
Ah, I like that.
But I played this like finger picking line, and every time we did it, we'd start out fine, and then about a quarter of the way through, we'd lose what the one beat was because my finger picking was never on the one beat, which threw everybody off. So we came to the conclusion that we needed to modify and overdub the acoustic guitar at a later time,
man.
which is what happened. But-
Okay. All
And
right.
then it was fine.
and then it was fine.
As soon
So-
as I could find one.
It's a
was
beauty.
fine.
It actually came out to be a really good song, and Rob's keyboard on it really makes it sing.
Well, where one is, I think it was a Chet Atkins record with the two of him and Jerry Reed, I think, saying, "Where's one at? Where one is." And then they started playing this ridiculous play. Why did I bring that up? Because where's one at?
Yeah.
Where one is. That's very, very Kierkegaardish. It's very existential. It's incredible.
It is. I feel like I got to go
It's
meditate
pithy.
now.
It's pithy.
It is
And I
pithy.
keep telling them one's right here.
Well, that's one.
Yeah.
It may not be the one, but it's one.
This is the conversation that we had before we've had any one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Afterwards, we just evolve into this is Spinal Tap. And I still remember that night the fog rolled out of the bay. Eating fast food in her evening, gowns were playing out the next day. Like a white knight in blue jeans, I tried to take her away. Never thought I'd find someone made me wanna act that way. The spark in her eyes brightens up when she smiles. Just when she laughs out loud and turns from my side. Thoughts in my mind's eye match the things she might say. Never thought I'd find someone made me wanna think that way. Through a minefield of emotion, we traveled that day, chasing each adventure, grabbing grass rings on the way. Never felt a single pain with her that day.
me, and the sun dimmed its light. Every single breeze that came had a blowing through my mind. Tangles of her hair, or the green in her eyes, all faded to obscurity when I made her cry. Do I try to take it slowly, or reach for her today? But every step I take feels like I'm farther away. Can I be the only one who feels that way? Well, I tried to take it slowly, I tried to stay away, but every step I take, I feel my heart gain more weight. Can I be the only one that feels that way? Yeah. Last time I saw her, the storms rolled in that day. She rolled up her old blue jeans, danced barefoot in the rain. My heart said just go to her, my mind said to stay. Wish I'd listened to my heart, kept my mind at bay. Never thought I'd find someone made me wanna act that way. Thank you.
You had a series of songs that were written for this, but these aren't the only songs that are on the album, right? There are some other contributions, or
There are, yeah. There was a drummer named Chris Amaral who I met through my day job. Chris is a really good guy. He's a drummer with a band called the Nickel Slots. I wish he could have been here tonight, but they have a gig tonight. They're actually getting paid. They get paid. We play charity gigs. They get paid. I don't know how that worked out.
They must have had to haul more gear.
They had to haul more gear. They do have to haul more gear. But Chris and I had met, and became friends, and we talked a lot. And he had similar, like he's plays some kind of Americana root stuff, but he's walking around wearing punk rock T-shirts. And I said, yeah, I would love to have you just sit down and play with you one day. And then the idea came in the studio, came up, and I asked him if he would play on some of those tracks. And he said, yeah, just like these guys. He's like, yeah, tell me where, tell me when. And I asked Eric, and he said the exact same thing. And I think it was the same thing. I think we did 2 rehearsals.
Yeah, we had 2 rehearsals. Yeah, about that.
At Chris's house. And then we went in the studio, and those just like bang. We just banged out all I think 4 tracks in the first day, I think.
Yeah, it was the first day. I think we did some follow up the second day, but it was pretty much the first day.
Yeah.
But everything just clicked. It was a good groove, and it just was easy to play.
Yeah. And then that was it. We finished, and I did a couple just myself. One's an instrumental that at one point I had written when my middle daughter Hannah was born. So it's one of the older songs that I've written, but I'd never done anything with it. It's just an acoustic guitar, and I overdubbed a dobro on it. And then the other one was a blues song that I just kind of threw together on the fly while I was sitting there. And Joe was like, "We should record this." And I went, "Okay," and we did, and it came out.
So how would you describe the songs on this album? When I heard it initially, I expected a lot more blues. There is a lot of blues on it, but there's also a lot of rock to it as well. How would you describe it?
Me.
Yeah.
It's my personality. My kids will tell you I have like everything from Thelonious Monk to Vince Guaraldi to Jimi Hendrix and Deep Purple and Clapton and the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then a lot of the stuff sort of evolved sitting with these guys and playing with them and turned into what they are.
Yeah. So your kids, when you were working on some of these songs, I remember seeing some posts on social media. making fun of the fact that your kids are sick of hearing you practice these songs over and over again and writing these songs. And so did you torture them with these, or how did that work out?
Well,
Maybe
now the album's
this is
out.
an intervention, by the way. You can come forward now.
I think they got sick of hearing them over and over again. Hannah, at one point, my middle, said, "Is like, I finally know what the words to that song are, because all I ever heard was you playing that same rhythm like over and over and over again." And then she didn't know it was even on the record. And then they can't hear you. There's no microphone. Okay.
That's
all
all
right.
right.
Yeah.
Hold on. I can interject here.
Okay.
Because I've had all the kids in school.
Uh-huh.
And that talking out right there, that's what happened in school every day. Every day. Excuse me. No, we're not talking about that now. Yeah, but my dad has a song. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So does she have to do an essay now? Or?
Yes, you have to write for me. Oh, what? Oh, the preamble to the
Oh, that's right.
preamble to the Constitution. 3 times signed by your father.
I got that a
Oh,
lot.
my.
Oh, and Ben
I got that
Ben
a
I
lot.
had in school also.
Good.
On
just
behalf
said I
of
got
both
it a
of
lot.
us, we apologize
Yes,
now.
profusely. On behalf, I have to do it 4 times over because you had all 4 of mine.
right.
I love how Dave says, my middle daughter. He's got 4 kids, but she is his middle daughter.
Middle daughter, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Well, I have an older daughter.
Good point.
And the twins were more or less like 15 seconds apart, so it's one birth.
Technically 2, but it's really all rolled into one.
It's all, yeah. I mean, just I was there. I can verify this. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Abby's on the record. My oldest daughter's on the record. She.
Which song is that?
My Sweet Angel,
Okay.
which also their mother makes an appearance, which was Matt's idea, actually.
That was because she was a broadcaster.
She started out as a TV anchor and reporter, and then that's where we met. And I had written that song for her, and I hated the lyrics in it, and she loved the lyrics in it, so I hadn't changed them. And then after she was gone, I couldn't sing it anymore. I just couldn't.
But I like the way it starts out. I like the fact that you dug into the archives, you found that clip of her, and brought it in and utilized it, and you said it was your idea to do that. What gave you that idea? Why push that?
Well, I knew he had some old roll of her doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, the story behind it is that initially he had got Abby to come in, and they sang this really beautiful outro to the song that was the verses from Hendrix' My Sweet Angel. And so when he called
I tried to do the right thing.
The label?
he called the publishing company,
Okay.
which is really
Which is
Hendrix
Janie
estate.
Hendrix, yeah.
Okay.
And they said, no, we don't allow derivative works, which is kind of funny since 90% of what Hendrix did
Was derivative.
Right. But and so he was kind of a little upset and trying to figure out what he could do to kind of fill that space. And I said, one thing that might be really nice is to have Andrea actually make an appearance.
I liked it. I think it was a great idea.
Made
Yeah.
Hannah cry.
Yeah, it made me
She
cry.
hadn't
too,
heard the
Dave.
redone version of it, so it made her cry.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But she said they were happy tears because she just thought the song came out really
Right.
nice. So.
Oh, I liked it.
I made her cry too.
More than once, from what I understand. Yeah.
Can you still write out the
Can you still write out the preamble of the Constitution? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union.
It's in the song.
It is in the
It's
song.
in the
It's
song.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes, exactly.
and
Shadows moved across my wall. I never noticed them before. Watch them move from place to place. my love, she calls for me. Trying to help her mind break free. She tried the chemicals and breaks, but it just rooted us to this place. Still I shout her love in a crowd of doors and rooms, cut down to my soul, and the heart it will come soon. Saying, my darling, it's true. Tell me you feel it too. Shadows all have gone away. It's your light that drove them away. A kiss, a touch, a warm embrace are all I needed to leave this place. And I won't shout alone in an empty, noisy room. The cut down to my soul has a scar that hides a wound. You know, my darling, true, you help me break on through. You help me break on through.
So, what do you want people to know about this album?
It's a personal album, done by a group of friends that helped me out do it. It's it's in two parts. Part one's the dark, part two's the light. Dark is because it's the journey of the last 8 years of my life, basically.
Yeah.
And these guys were a big part of pulling me into the light side. I wouldn't have made it if I didn't have music and them to play with and to go get wine with and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
How important was this music to your recovery from that? dark-
music helped me recover. I didn't have the money for therapy
or booze.
or booze. Yeah. It was just it was very important. I mean, from the moment she was gone, I pulled the guitar out of the case, and like Matt, I hadn't been playing much. I may have played, but I didn't play a lot. And then when he said, I'm starting a band and you're in it, I went, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you were ready. It was the right time.
It was. And then it was just like this was, as Rob said, they're just such good guys. I mean, just such great people to be around. And I just was like, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather record with.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt and I have sat down and written some stuff together, and there was a competition that said you have to write an album in February.
They didn't say it all had to be in the same February.
Right.
Oh,
So
okay.
February's coming again, so we've got about 3-4 songs.
Eventually, it'll be 20 years,
Yeah.
but we'll get this album.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
in the month of February.
In the month of February.
Yeah.
One thing that is, I think, really special about what Dave has done is that it is truly an album. It's truly an album. People made a big deal out of talking about Sgt. Pepper being a conceptual album, that the tracks complement each other, that they go in a certain order, in certain keys, and a certain amount of development, the arrangements, the density of the arrangements changing. and building, and it has some architecture to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Dave has done. He's has an album full of songs that are truly cohesive.
They tell a story.
They tell a story.
They really do.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of unheard of nowadays because everything is a single that streams,
Yeah.
and then if you put some B cuts to
Yeah.
make an album.
So earlier we were talking about that album that Dave and I were going to write and record in the month of February. We've got 3 songs from 3 Februarys ago.
Yeah, they didn't say which February.
So we're gonna still finish it in February. We just didn't know which February. This is one of those songs. See it on the internet, on Facebook and Instagram. Complaints about the president and them who cannot stand him. Hear it on my radio in place of my favorite song. All this piss and moaning, now somebody else is wrong. My head's getting dizzy, my mind get all crazy when I blink. If you're gonna ask me what I think I'll have another drink. People building walls and people starting fires. Everyone's a con and everyone's a liar. The world is gonna melt or the world is gonna freeze. Stand up for what's left or fall down on your knees. My head's getting dizzy, my world's got all crazy when I blink. If you're gonna ask me what I think I have another drink. Don't you try to text me, something just ain't right. Get up off your lazy butt and have your own damn life. My head's getting dizzy, the world got all crazy till I leave. If you're gonna ask me what I think I have another drink. If you're gonna ask me what I think I have another drink. If you're gonna ask me what I think I have another drink.
Do you see it as an art form that's slowly sort of fading away because of the technology? You know, that not necessarily the concept album, but the cohesiveness of an album and the whole thing telling a story.
The album
The album is
is kind
now
of,
you're lucky to get an EP out of a band.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing that happened with iTunes.
Yeah.
Right? When you can buy just the song that you like for 99 cents instead of buying the whole album for $12.
Right.
The album became less important.
Yeah.
But I think the other side of that is that paradigm shift where now distribution is so easy. You don't have to have a big record deal in order to get your music out there.
Right.
You just have to get it out there.
Right.
And so I think it's whatever you decide it is. I mean, if you want to put out an album, that album is a story from beginning to end and has 30 songs on it, you can do that. Whether anybody listens to the whole thing or not, that's kind of up to them, I guess.
Well, I've listened to the whole thing, listened to it last night. And at first I was thinking, okay, I'll listen to a couple of tracks, maybe skip around. But once I played it, I just let it roll. And that's the way you really should do it. At least the first time through.
Mhm.
You should listen to it from beginning to end, because I think you'll have a greater appreciation for not only the content, but that shift from dark to light.
The journey it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's your journey over the last 8 years in a nutshell, in essence. It's
Yeah, and
Encapsulated.
that's why it's not an Ain't Got No Time band album. That will come.
Yeah.
I love these guys enough that I want to record with them again, but
and I love the fact that they all said, absolutely, let's do it.
nobody hemmed or hawed or
Yeah.
anything. It was just, and I was just,
That's great.
yeah.
That's great. So if you're looking for something new, something different. When the Giants fell, Dave Manoucheri, I'm going to say Ain't Got No Time blues
It
and
is an
rock
Ain't Got No
band.
Time album. Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
because
it
they're
is,
all
'cause
on
they
it.
Yeah.
But it is your creation, your baby. You gave birth to this thing all at once, not in twos. There's not a double album.
No, if I try and press it, it'll end up being because it's too long. But
Yeah.
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 I mean, but again, it's also benefits from the work that all these guys do. I mean, Eric's in this amazing a cappella group called RSVP. We just saw them the other night, and they did just a spectacular performance. Raise money for charity, and Kevin got us involved with the dog rescue.
Mhm.
It's just
Just
it's
did the Haiti 180 benefit
Yeah.
last month.
in the dark.
In the dark. Because power went out.
The
and-
PSPS thing.
Yep, and within 2 hours of the time that the power went out, because we had sound checked early in the day, power went out. We went to get something to eat. We came back. Power had gone out, and they got generators up, and the show went on. And
That's
People
awesome.
drove up with generators. They're like, we got them, and they pulled them up,
Oh.
plugged them in just so that we could
How
play.
awesome is that?
17-year-old kid that's in my group.
That's terrific.
At the church, he plays guitar. This was his Eagle Scout project, and what did he earn?
It was 15,000.
15,000.
I think it was over 17 by the time it
Over
was done.
$17,000 by the
Wow.
end of the thing
Wow.
for Haiti orphanage.
Man.
Just an incredible thing.
So I'm assuming this is available on iTunes.
It will be December 13th. So
December
by the time this
13th.
drops, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
not on cassette.
But not on cassette. It's not an actual
I
cassette.
swear, it took me a moment.
Well, one of my friends has a copy of it, and I laugh because she posted something on Instagram, and she said that I'm embarrassed to admit how long it took me to realize that this isn't an actual cassette tape.
It's great. This is such a great
So
marketing.
he handed one to me, or to each of us last night, and I'm driving home, and Ben's in the car with me, and Ben's got his. And what happened, Ben?
I couldn't figure out how to open it. I'm
And
sitting.
so I'm driving and I go like this. I said, well, hand it to me. And he hands it to me and I go, you go like this.
Yeah. Flip it. Yeah. See, that's an experienced
Because
cassette tape opener.
We've all done this at 150
Oh,
times.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
And
don't
then-
need a
and then he-
pencil.
and then he
Yeah,
spent
you-
about 20 minutes going like,
Oh, yeah.
What do
putting
I-
it back.
That's great.
Well,
But yeah, you
but
don't
see
need a
the
pencil
key.
to
Don't
wind
need a
the tape
pencil to
back
wind
in
the
when it
tape
gets
back
hooked
in,
up
that's
either.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little part that sticks out's not
Oh,
a
that's
kazoo
cool.
either.
No.
It's for the sing along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there going to be a karaoke version of this?
Depends on how much they want to pay me.
There you go.
every time we play.
Every time.
So, Dave, is there anything else you want to talk about with this? Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I think you've hit it all.
Okay.
I didn't want to make it all about me and the album anyway. So
Well, this is your CD release party.
it is my party, yes, but it's also a
He'll
celebration
cry if he
of
wants
you guys.
to.
I'll cry. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
we'll let the songs do the talking from here on out.
Sure.
How's that?
Well, we're gonna do some from that. We're gonna do some songs that Rob wrote, some songs that Matt wrote, and
Sounds good.
We'll have some fun.
Let's do it.
It's a whole band. Yeah.
All right.
But one of the songs I wrote in 1976.
I didn't hear any disco on this.
Huh? No. It's like
It's not.
it's not disco, but I wrote it in 1976, and I'm glad I didn't choose one of the songs where I talk about some topical things, because I talked about with New York City ailing and now sort of jailing. It was about the Iran hostages,
Oh.
and I was like, it wouldn't click.
No, probably not. No, I would understand
Iranians
it.
are getting
We're old.
kind of uppity again, and I can say that because I'm Persian.
Because you're Persian.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Great to have you here, and good luck with the
Appreciate it.
CD,
Yeah.
the album, the
Thank
cassette tape.
So, thanks for having us.
And thanks to the rink. This is a great place.
Love
yeah.
it. Isn't it
Yeah,
great?
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm lucky to have the Sharkey's Treehouse here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
She would climb to the roof of a flat so she could worship the sunrise. But only my kind words would warm a steely heart. Looking on the painted city, we could hear the whisper of the horses work through the day, and the laughter of children walking hand in hand. She had a kind of fire, you could feel the kiss of her lips. A certain kind of love flowing deep from her heart. She would steal away to streets and alleys where her rich friends would never dare tread, just so she could say she'd live where others feared to play. Yeah. I never had that kind of confidence, even as a little child. But when she held my hand, I felt like I could touch the sky. She taught me how to fly, taught me how to shout into the wind. Cleansed by some original sin. Taught me how to fly, taught me how to shout into the wind. Cleansed by some original sin. Yeah, you can hide from the answers, but questions will remain. Regrets you run away from will find you again and again, till you're cleansed by some original sin. Regrets you run away from will find you again and again, till you're cleansed by some original sin. Taught me how to shout into the wind. Cleansed by some original sin. Taught me how to fly, said I had to shout into the wind. Cleansed by some original sin. original scene. Thank you. Just like we rehearsed it that one time.